Shalom to the nation of Israel. Come in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a quick one, an important one, right? We're talking about envying people of the world. Ecclesiasticus 20 and 9. There is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, right? So people of the world, right? You probably wonder, like, oh, this guy has done this and that, he's wicked, right? But yet he's prospering. Well, it says right there, right? There is a sinner that hath good success in evil things. So he's having good success in evil things. And what evil things? Things of the world are evil things, right? Because they're contrary to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to the scriptures. And there is a gain that turneth to loss, right? But the whole joke's a lot of time with that stuff, what they do with the world, you always lose, right? Whether you have to, stab someone in the back to make it up in, your business, whether anything in the world, you always have to do something wicked to keep prospering, right? But at the end of the day, judgment still comes for you, right? So, and there is a gain that turns to loss, right? So you lose. That's the whole point, right? So now we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus 11 and 21. And the reason why I wanted to go into this again, because I've already done a video on this, but like in the times that we're in with the prophecies happening, like we're almost out of here. So like basically trying to do things with the world, like trying to do carnal things, going after carnal things, right? It's very dangerous because like I just read, there's a gain that turneth to loss, right? Because if you're a man of the Lord, you're not supposed to be wanting to do things of the world. If anything, you were trying to separate yourself even more from it, right? Because you're a holy man, right? Or woman. So you want to separate yourself from it and get closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because that's your only way out of here when this destruction comes. Doing things of the world is not going to, you're not benefiting from that spiritually. You're actually losing, if anything, right? Because it's making you more carnal. So you need to like isolate yourself in a sense. Right? Ecclesiasticus 11 and 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners. So the stuff that they're doing in the world, like this guy's probably, he has all this money, he has these cars, has all these women, right? Don't get marveled by that stuff because it's of the world, right? And the scriptures read that things of the world passeth away or fadeth away, Slakia, roughly paraphrasing. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, right? Because that's trusting in the Lord. He gives you everything, right? Those people of the world have their portion, right? And anything that goes through sin equals to death. So the more they're sinning in the world, the more they're just adding up their account to be killed, right? If you want to call it like that, or their bill, right? You need to ask for repentance of sins that you were doing in the world in your past lives. Right, and getting closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, like it says right here. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor. And what is your labor? If you're a man of the Lord, it's in His truth. Keep doing the work. Keep trying to follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Right? Keep suffering. Right? That's a very important thing. Is suffering. You have to keep suffering. You don't stop suffering because I don't want to do it anymore. And there's a way to suffer righteously and there's a way to suffer wickedly. Wickedly is like you're purposely putting yourself in scenarios, right? No, if there's time for relaxation, then relax, because everything's about balance too at the same time. But if you're in a situation a lot in your lot and, you're going through hell, well, you have to really ask yourself, why am I going through this? Because the scriptures read also, let me just get it real quick. Okay, Khan. 1 Peter 4 and 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you. So that suffering that you're going through is just to try you, right? And it's a trial because the big test is coming, right? So you have to pass these mini tests to make yourself better, to get experience points for that big test, right? Which is to try you as though some strange thing happened unto you. Yeah, he's like, oh, why is this happening? This is crazy, right? And scriptures read about that, putting the He'll put the third through the fire, right? And refine them as gold and silver is refined, roughly paraphrasing, right? So it's to refine you, that fiery trial. That's why you're going through it. So trying to escape from it, you're actually doing yourself harm. You're losing experience in getting better and making yourself more pure because you don't want to deal with the fire because it's hot. You know? Because the Most High knows at the end of the day, he knows what you can handle. He knows what you can't handle. So any scenario that you're really in, you can handle it. Now the balance is knowing, having discernment of what to do in every scenario, right? But the point is that people of the world are not going through any type of fiery trial or any suffering because they're in the world. The world is just all about prosperity, having fun, good times, feeling good, doing what you want, right? So back here, marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. So we're poor men right now, right? To the world, we're poor. We're not, we don't have a bunch of money. We don't have, a bunch of cars, women like that. We don't have those things, right? We're not some profound doctor or professor, right? That's of the world. And the Most High says, I believe its wisdom of the world is foolishness unto him, right? So that's of the world. We are a poor man, but to the Most High, we're rich. Well, yeah, to the Most High, we're rich because he gave us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? And that fear, right? But we are still poor because we're still a worm, right? And it talks about Israel being a worm. But it says, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. So it's very easy for the Most High to bless you like that, snap of the fingers. And he just blesses you. But he'll only do that if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? If you're suffering, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing to the best of your ability, right? And trusting on the Lord and not in the world, right? So it's a very delicate game of balance, right? Because we still have to work, we still have to do things in the world, right? But wherever you can separate yourself from of the world, do it. If you don't need to be, if you have no reason to be doing something, then don't do it. Because now you're just going after lust, right? Unless you have a reason to do it, an actual reason, not a spiritual reason, not a carnal reason. So now we're gonna go to 9. Ecclesiasticus 9:11. Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. Exactly. So you don't know what's gonna happen to that person that's looks great in the world, has all his money, he's in shape. You have no idea what's gonna happen because you have no idea what that person did to get there. Because they all have to do some type of wickedness to get to where they are. You can't be in the world and be clean. That's not possible. Right? It's not possible. And verse 12, delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in. Yeah. So don't delight in the things that the ungodly have pleasure in, like going to strip clubs. Right? I mean, that's one thing. The ungodly have pleasure in that. And there's a whole type of wickedness going on in there. In clubs, especially strip clubs, though, because like a lot of those women are first of all, a lot of those women have men, right? But then you have other men going in there and they're getting popped by these women. These men are popping these women. All type of wickedness. It's just a cesspool of wickedness, right? Like, unless you have a reason to go there, like you work there, right? If that's your actual reason, you work there, you actually acquired money. You don't have a job, you need to pay bills. That's different. But like going there purposely, it's not really wise. It's not wise. But like I said, you got to use discernment, right? Or going to the clubs because now we have these, they have all these certificates here. There's a lot of fake ones that are coming out there. So people are just using it and going wherever they want. So you have to be careful, man. You don't want to go up and get into those lustful things of the world and do the wrong thing. It was like, oh, well, I had a long week. I need to go to the club and relax, blah, blah, blah. Right? You're thinking carnally. Because anyway, you're supposed to be suffering. You have a lot of sins to pay for it. We all do. Right? So you got to think spiritually. Stay in the spirit. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember, and on top of it, you remember what the Sakari did. They did the what was it? The Passover at a strip club. Whether it was a strip club or a club doesn't matter. It's still wicked, right? So like I read right here, delight not in the thing that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished on their grave. So they're not going to go unpunished for what they did, right? Because that was wicked. That was wicked. So the Most High is going to judge them for that. And Yahweh Ratazah, if they're a part of the elect, He'll have mercy on them and they'll repent for what they did. And the ones that don't are going to be destroyed. It's very simple. Right? So now we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus 7 and 16. Because in the times we're in, right, the chip is literally here. It's been here for 3 years on the planet. Like actually been put into people. And I'm talking about like in Sweden. I think it's been the past 3 years. They've been shipping people there already. They've been doing their test runs. So now they're going to bring it to the Western world. Right? It's already been here. So like doing things with the world is not the wisest thing to do. You have to be separating yourself from the world as much as you possibly can. Right? Getting closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, cleaning yourself. If you have to deal with the world, and then at the end of the day, the apostles still say, if you have to go to the world, you have to deal with it because you still have to work, right? But you just got to use discernment. Just get in and get out. Get in and get out. Like a boxing match. Get in and get out. Bobbing and weaving, Ecclesiasticus 7 and 16. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners, but remember that wrath will not tarry long. There you go. So now, Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. And who's our oppressor? Esau, the top oppressor, Esau, Edom. And choose none of his ways. That's what it says. It says none, not one of his ways. Not one. For the forward is abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but his secret is with the righteous. And who are the righteous? Right? The elect. Because the 2/3 are just they're wicked, so it's just the elect. The curse of the Lord Yahweh is in the house of the wicked, but the blessed, the habitation of the just. Right? And who are the just? The elect. Right? The 2/3 will come back through the 1/3 in the elect, but not right now. They have to be destroyed because they're just out of order. So now Proverbs 23 and 17. Proverbs 23 and 17, let not thine mind envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord Yahweh all the day long. So let not thy mind, because heart means mind, lab, envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord Yahweh all day long. You have to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai because he can fuck you up in any way he wants to, at any moment. Remember, he's the ultimate chess player, the master chess player. You can't run from him. None of us can. Not one of us. So you have to examine yourself all the time. Proverbs 24 and 1. Be thou envious. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. So where there's evil men, you shouldn't want to go where they are, right? One is a strip club. One is a club. I don't know. Even people that you work with. Like they're trying to do some event or whatever. It's like, I'll be like, I'm not going. Whatever. Yeah. Oh, you're so weird. You never want to hang with. Yeah, you're right. I have things to do. I'm busy. I have to work. Like you shouldn't want to. Anything, you should be angry to be around them anyways. You shouldn't want to hang out with those people, right? Because they're wicked. It's just the facts. It doesn't matter how kind and nice they seem. They're wicked because they're not following the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. So they're wicked. Right? For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Yeah. Yep. They talk of mischief. When I'm at work, I don't talk to anybody. I only talk to one brother in the truth. That's it. And people might think that I'm like a antisocial. That's good. Let them think you're antisocial. That's okay. That's fine. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not breaking the rules at work. You come to work, you do your job. Your boss doesn't hate you because you're doing your job. That's good. That's fine. You know, depending where you work, maybe you have to talk to people and act, use that white man voice, you know. But overall, like, you don't have to. You just gotta, separate yourself wherever you can. Separate yourself from them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Their wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established. Right. So the wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's how you build your spiritual house in your mind. Right. Because when you first came into the truth, you had to take out, put away that old man and put on that new man. Right. And a new man, a young man, needs to be built up. You need to grow. And the only way you're going to grow is by eating the roll, drinking the living waters, drinking the milk, eating the meat, and that's of the scriptures. Right? And by understanding it is established. And once you've established, you finally understand what you're involved in and what you're reading in, right? Now you're more established, you're rooted, right? So now you can actually, deal with things in the world and get in and get out, so to speak. Like whether it's work or whatever, making money, get in, get out, right? When you're young, you should be, very careful. You should just drink on the milk. There's nothing wrong with drinking the milk. There's nothing wrong with milk. Milk's good for you. Builds up your bones, right? And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches, right? And what chambers can also be referring to, right? Your spiritual bank account, right? Because you're doing the things of the Lord that please Him, right? Now your chamber, that spiritual bank that you have, is being filled, right? A wise man is strong. Hey, a man of knowledge increases strength. And so what's strength? Strength in the Lord. Fear in the Lord. Trusting in the Lord. The more you cling on to Him, the more you're going to separate yourself from the world. The more you're going to look like an outcast to other people. And that's fine. That's okay. Because you already know what their end's going to be. So it doesn't matter. Right? But the scriptures still read to be harmless as a dove and subtle as a snake. So you really have spiritual discernment and be able to do that still. Meanwhile, people don't think anything of you. You know what I mean? So that's just a whole other conversation, like understanding, personalities and stuff. But the point is that you're supposed to cling on to the Lord. So I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. We all need to pray and do whatever we can to cling on to the Lord, because none of us are clean, right? None of us. But as long as we do what pleases Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you will have mercy on us and beam us up, when these missiles come. Right? Shalom to the hopeful elect.